Most people think you add reverb to make something sound far away. If you're doing that, you are missing the point. The greatest producers in history actually used reverb to do the exact opposite. They made things sound so massive. They felt like they were right there in the room with you. But a cathedral-sized room? Here on Wild One Studios, we connect the technical how-to with the historical why it matters. Today, we're breaking down the famous wall of sound and how you can use it in your next mix. Here's the actionable tip. Stop thinking of reverb as just space and start thinking of it as mass. Let's say you have a thin guitar part. Don't just add a little bit of room reverb. Instead, send it to a bus with a big plate or hall reverb. Crank up the decay time, and then here's the secret high pass, the reverb return. Now listen to the difference. Without that muddy low end fighting the dry signal, the reverb just swells around the note instead of burying it. You get all of the size without losing any of the punch. It's a simple trick, but it's the foundation of one of the most famous production sounds in history, which brings us to the why. In the early 1960s, a producer named Phil Spector wasn't just trying to make records. He was trying to make little symphonies. He created what became known as the Wall of Sound. Back then, most people couldn't afford huge studios with amazing acoustics. And everyone was listening on tiny car radios or transistor radios. If a record sounded like it was recorded in a small room, it just sounded weak on those speakers. So Spector and his engineer, Larry Levine, did the opposite of what we do today. They crammed dozens of musicians into one small studio and let the sound of all the instruments bleed into each other's microphones. They used that natural room reverberation and the slapback echo from the tape to create a mono sound so dense and huge. It felt like it was coming from everywhere at once. They weren't just creating a space. They were creating a force. That big reverb trick I just showed you, it's the modern version of trying to achieve that exact same feeling. Making a sound bigger than life to grab the listener by the collar and demand their attention. So the next time you reach for a reverb plugin, ask yourself this: am I just trying to place this instrument in a room? Or am I trying to turn it into a monument? Knowing the history of why these techniques were invented will completely change how you use them. If you want to understand the soul behind the sounds you use every day, hit that subscribe button. We're just getting started here on Wild One Studios. Thanks for watching.